Hello, pumpkin. Hello, sweet boy. Oh, there's me. Hello, Riley. Hi, kid. Hello. I have my baby cat that just jumped up on my desk. He's such a sweetie pie. Hello, sweet boy. Hello. Okay. Hi. I can't show you unless he comes a little closer. Come here. You want to come here? Do you want to come a little closer? Oh, there's the sweet face. Hi. This is Riley. He's beautiful 20-pounder. When we got Riley, he was like this big, would fit in my palm. And now he's this gorgeous, maybe he was gorgeous before, but he's a beautiful, sweet boy. And he hasn't really come up on my desk for a while because we had been house sitting for a puppy for a while. And here, can you bring your face up a little bit more so people can see how beautiful you are with that beautiful face? And so he was kind of hiding a lot, but the puppy moved to Nashville, so now Riley is coming up. So what a lovely thing to have. Our new visitor, my co-host today. What a sweet face. What a sweet boy he is. He is. Hello, hello. Hello, it's me and Riley. So I want to talk a little bit today about perception, as Riley is catching up on a lot of scritches and loves that he missed out while Pluto was with us. So, although he did like Pluto. So I want to talk about perception. So there's been a lot of talk about the Olympics and things like that, and I'm not trying to be political. I really try not to do that here. But I want to talk about perception because we see things from our filters. The filters where we were raised, the filters that we were of the people around us and the things we've experienced, and we see things from our filters. And so isn't he just the most beautiful? And I would pick him up, but what you can't see, Catherine, is on his back, he has these black angel wings on his back. This is the most affection I've gotten in weeks. We see things through our filters, right? So if we've had struggles with a certain kind of person or a certain perhaps ethnic group, or we've had a struggle with a certain kind of a job or a certain type of personality style, we will have filters around that. And so if you are raised in one religion or one political belief system, or if you're raised in one part of the country versus the other part or another country, it's very easy for us to forget that we see things from our filters. And so we talk a lot here about staying in our lane, right? We talk about not keeping our blinders on, but staying in our lane. Yes, I know, thank you. But staying in our lane. And what happens when we stay in our lane is we keep our focus on our goal, which is important. We want to do that. But then hello, darling. And then we keep our focus on our goal, but we also have to remember that we see things from our perspective, and that there is another perspective. There is always another point of view. There is always, see his little angel wings? See, I don't know if you can, it sort of just looks like a black mark, but there is always another point of view. There is always another perspective. There's always another way to see things. You want to come in the drawer so you're not giving everyone your butt? There's always another way to see things. And our job as light bringers and light workers is to look at the situation and say, okay, how can I see this from another perspective? So we've been talking lots about the Olympics and things, but I want to share a little bit. Can you sit? So now nobody can see me. Come here. I love you, but nobody can see me. Can you? Thank you. Hello. So a couple of things I want to say before we go back and talk about perspectives. I don't want to forget. First of all, I did post before I came on, at least on Facebook, I posted information about the Jasper wildfires in Canada. And some of you may have seen, I had also posted the GoFundMe. Kitten has knocked over my phone. Sorry, Instagram. Sorry, I have dropped my phone, and now Kitten will probably leave. All right, so the wildfires, there's wildfires burning in California, there's wildfires burning in Oregon, there's wildfires burning in Canada. Oh, good, you're sitting down. That's a good way. So, give if you can, wherever you can. But the reason that we shared about Jamie Breeze is that Jamie is an animal communicator. For those of you who are part of the Psychic Squares community, Jamie is part of our group, and Jamie is a phenomenal person and a phenomenal communicator. And not just her home was destroyed by the Jasper wildfires, but her entire community burnt to the ground. So her friends, her families, her neighbors, her home. And so there is a GoFundMe. I did put information below on the Facebook page about what's going on in Jasper, and then also a GoFundMe for the Jamie Breeze family and community. So if you choose to give, great. If not, just please hold them in prayer and send light and healing, because it's not just that. Can you sit down? Thank you. It's not just that they lost their home, but they lost everything around their home. So basically their whole town. And so that's really another level of devastation. And for those of us who've been through mass hurricane situations, he's just so jealous that I'm not paying full attention to him right now. So those of us who've been through, mass hurricanes, we can know what that feels like. I have never, thank God, I'm lucky enough to have gone through such a disaster of losing my home, but I grew up in South Florida, and I remember very well driving through the community of South Miami after Hurricane Andrew. I remember very well being down there, jumping into trucks to unload and to, supplies, and to help organize supplies for people who would show up having nothing and nowhere to go, and not really knowing, hello Instagram, I am still here, not really knowing, what the next day was going to bring for them. And so my heart truly, truly goes out to Jamie and her community. And so if you choose to, thank you, that's a good boy. If you choose to donate, fantastic. If if it's not within your capabilities, that's fine. Just let's send a lot of light that way. Okay, so having said that, the other thing I wanted to mention is the class that I am teaching for the Journey Within, and I'll mention this again at the end. The Journey Within Spiritualist Union National Church in New Jersey. It will be a Zoom class. It's on August 13th, and we'll get the link and we'll put it, but it's also pinned to the top of the page. And this is for a lot of you are light workers, but you're not really working. You're light workers hiding, and it's not any kind of a criticism at all, but it's a place where maybe you feel called to do work with your abilities, and you've taken the classes and you're all trained up and you're ready to get out and help other people, and you have no idea how to start doing that. And so this class is really to help you get the foundations of your business set so that you can get off the ground. How do you find clients? How do you take money? How do you organize your schedule? How do you do banking? How do you deal with taxes? How do you? And we're going to have a good portion of time for questions as well. And so this is going to be, if you go to Journey Within, to their to their website, and actually I can do that real quick. And you can sign up for the class, and I think it's like $20. I think it's not expensive. And let me grab the link. It is pinned to the page. It's not on the Instagram. I think it's on Instagram, but it's not. It's not. You can't pin things on Instagram, I think. So, let's see. How to build the foundation of your business. This one, and here. Oops, here. Did it wrong. Okay. Copy. And here is the link. Okay. All right. So and so if you feel like you would like to be part of the class and you would like to participate, we would love to have you. It's not an expensive class. I think, what did I just say? It was $20. Yep, $20. And for a 2-hour class, I mean, that's pretty good. You get me for $10 an hour. That doesn't happen very often. And we would love to have you, because here's the thing. I recognize that there are so many people who have abilities, who have gifts, who have worked hard and trained and become proficient in their abilities and can do so much to help others in the world, but they are not, because they are not sure how to start or where to start or where to go or what to do and all of this. And so the truth of the matter is, we need light workers. I mean, now more than any any time in our history, hi Laura Lou, we need light workers. And so if you are somebody who has been thinking about starting a business with your light working abilities, this class is for you. So really, we need so many more people to step up and say, I'm ready to help bring the light to the world, continue to bring the light to the world, continue raising the vibration on the world. Okay, so let me shift back about where we were about perspectives, and I want to tell you a quick story about what happened recently. Some of you have been following me for a while, and you have heard my story. Oh, did you see I got a new window shade? It's so cool because it comes down from the top, goes up from the bottom. We'll play with that. So some of you have followed me along long enough to know of the time that I chose to separate from one of my friends who had been, my closest friend for, more than 2/3 of my life. So for 45 years. I think we met when I was 9, she was 8. And I chose to not just separate from her, but from her brother, her family, just everything, just cut all the ties, and just had to walk away. And you have to stop and think, and think, what causes a person to walk away from a family that they have been loyal to and consider their own family for 40 plus years? And what was so interesting, because we're talking about seeing things from other perspectives, what's so interesting is, for the first part of that time when I walked away, I could only see it from my perspective. I could only see the reasons why I walked away, which were valid and just, and they were true, and they were, and it wasn't an easy decision. And it was things that, I was like, well, how could they not see these things? Because, they would certainly understand why I walked away, even though I knew that they wouldn't, and that was wishful thinking. And so recently I had the opportunity to connect, and I'll use air quotes for that, with my niece. And just to say to her, I love you very much, and you're an adult now, she's over 21, and I said, I'd love to have the opportunity to connect with you, and she said no, and that's okay. That is totally her prerogative, and frankly I was proud of her for speaking her mind and standing up and saying that she really, while I didn't like what she had to say, I certainly respected her, that she had grown into a woman who could say it, and I respected her point of view. But a few years back, it came, was able to shift my perspective and say, okay, if I was in that family, how would that feel to me? That, I walked away, and that, I asked her brother to move out of my house, and I wasn't there for this, and I wasn't there for that. And if I was the recipient of that, how would that feel? And it really does allow us to have compassion in a very different way for those that we feel have done us wrong. I don't have, the thing she kept saying is, if you want a relationship with me, you have to mend the relationship with my mom. And I said, that's just not going to happen. And I still love you. That's all I can say, because we can see things from another person's perspective, and we can have compassion, and we can offer forgiveness, and we can send light and love. And I love this family. I never stop loving this family. I just want to love this family over there. I don't want to love this family here. I don't want to be in it. And it's not healthy or safe for me to do that. And it takes a lot for us to have those boundaries, to set those boundaries, to say, I love you away. Okay, and that's a big thing for a lot of people because we're so loyal. We want to be, we want to be there for the people who've been there for us. We want to, what's expected of us, we do, and we follow what's expected or what we think is expected instead of prioritizing that self-care, right? Because we get caught up in, well, what are people going to say? And I am sure that they had a lot of not nice things to say about me, 100%. And I also was 100% sure that my nieces were going to hate me. And that breaks my heart. But I also knew that that was a risk I was going to have to take. And that maybe someday down the road, there would be the opportunity for them to hear my side or to reconcile with them when it could be separated from the family, which is really why I waited until the older one was 21. But their perception is that Aunt Sherry ditched them, walked away, turned my back, completely was not there. And I understand where that comes from. I totally understand. And again, it was not unexpected, but we have to prioritize our self-care and our mental stamina and our stability and our mental stability, emotional stability. We have to prioritize those things, especially as we're going forward in the next 6 months, regardless of whether you live in the United States or not. So many countries are having struggle and turmoil right now, and we know that the United States creates a ripple effect. And so what's going to happen in the United States in November and in January is going to create a lot of waves and energetic ripples and a lot of stress and anxiety for people around the world, which I'm not trying to be egotistical about the United States, but when we were in England in April, every person we met asked us about the election. So, and American politics. So this is stuff that really affects other countries. And so the thing I want us to really think about right now is that we see things from our perspective. And so when I say to you, we've got blinders, we stay in our lane, and perspective is a little bit bigger. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, right? So perspective is a little bit bigger. We see things from our perspective, and it really does take a minute. And I really encourage us for any situation where we find conflict or strife, which, there's a lot right now. And especially, with the politics and the Olympics and all the stuff, to be able to say, okay, let me just breathe. How can I see this from another perspective? How can I see this from this other person's perspective? If I was in that situation and somebody walked away from me and just ditched out of my family without even from their perspective, without even a word, which is not really how it happened, but how would I feel? And what would my reaction be? And then from that point, we can breathe and we can have compassion and we can be less triggered, because the idea for all of this is for us to be less triggered, right? It's for us to be less, oh yeah, well let me just tell you something, right? Because that doesn't serve anybody well. It doesn't. And so for my niece, who I'm sure would not, call herself that, and that's fine, for me to be able to say to her, I love you. I wish you only blessings and happiness and joy in wherever your life takes you. That's all you can say. And for the people who we don't agree with and the people where we can't find middle ground, to be able to say, I hear you. I understand that we're coming from a different perspective on this, and that's okay, because we can choose two things. We can choose to argue and try to convince each other. We can choose to listen and say, I hear you. I may or may not agree, but I hear you. Or 3 things. Or we can say, I'm going to choose to prioritize, let's choose to prioritize our friendship, and we'll put this part up on the shelf. So I have another really good friend. We've been friends for forever. Through the years, our politics have like this. And we were never on the same page politically, but with the rise of Trump and all of that in this country, and we would have some really interesting conversations. And then after a while, it just kind of got really contentious. And I said, let's prioritize our friendship. And for the sake of our friendship, which goes back 25 years, let's just put this on the shelf. And we just won't talk about these things, okay? Because this way we can stay in a place of love and a friendship and coworkers and supporters, and we can, really be part of each other's lives in a loving and supportive and joy-filled way. Even though all this other stuff may be happening, we're just going to put it on the shelf. And you can talk to your people about it, and I can talk to my people about it, and we just don't have to talk to each other about it. So we have these choices. And so the thing that is really coming up for me, because we're in the waning of the moon, right? We are in the waning. We're in the last quarter. We're going to come into the new moon just in a few days. Let me see, I didn't have time to check today. When is our new moon going to be? Let's see. New moon is on Sunday. So when we meet next Monday, we'll be in the place of the new moon. Next Monday is, I think we can do it. I'm leaving town on Tuesday morning very early. I think we can do it. So I'm planning right now. I'm planning on Monday. So by the time we meet next Monday, we're going to be in the new moon. And so as we're coming, we know that we get more tired when energy comes down, when the moon comes down. We know that we're in Mercury retrograde, right? We're about to be in Mercury retrograde. We're in the pre-window, right? And so we're already feeling the effects of it. We know that these things can wear us down. And so, but Mercury retrograde also brings up things for us to deal with, which is why I know I felt called to reach out to this young woman. But this is a really important time for us to take a look and say, okay, do I need to hang on to this? How can I see this from another person's perspective? Because that's a really big part of allowing ourselves to let go of something. When we can't see it from another person's perspective, we can't let go of it. We can only stay in our perspective. If we can't, and we can stay in our perspective, we know that we're right, and then we get just mad at anybody else. We can see things from another person's perspective. We can allow energy to flow through us, and we're no longer so invested in the outcome. I can see this from her perspective. I understand what is triggering this person, and I send them love and light, and that's not what's, my reaction, so I'm going to move along. And so we can allow ourselves to not get attached to the outcome. And so these things become really important when we are prioritizing mental health and our self-care and our energetic management and all of these things, because as we are going to get closer into November, December, and January, it's going to get a little worse. And especially as we are going to be in this Mercury retrograde until the early September. So it's really important that we are having a plan of self-care as we're going forward. And so this whole hubbub with the Olympics and the Last Supper and the Feast of Dionysus, and frankly, I just didn't understand how people were just so upset about the Last Supper, and the same people weren't all upset about the whole menage a trois thing in the library. If you watch the opening ceremony of the Olympics, I don't know. I mean, I thought the whole opening ceremony was kind of boring and it just really slow. So that was just sort of me anyway. But it's so really brought up, for me about how people are really into their own, they're really grounded into their own perspectives. And so it's really important that we can take a minute to take a breath and say, hey, listen, how can I see this from another person's perspective? And also to not be tied to the outcome. Okay, I can see it from their perspective, but I'm not invested in fixing it. I'm not invested in changing it. I'm not invested in trying to convince anybody of anything. Just how can we, can we see this from someone else's perspective? Because that allows us compassion and allows us a place to have forgiveness and release, to be like, I see what is upsetting you. This is not upsetting me. I love you over there. Goodbye. God bless. And again, we're not tied to the outcome. So I hope that some of this makes sense, because again, I think as we get closer to, into Mercury retrograde and this kind of thing, I think we're really going to have the possibility, the potential of being more triggered. So I just wanted to take a minute. I know it's been, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, to really talk about, how to protect ourselves with some emotional management as we're going forward. And things get really, especially here in the South, things get really stressy as we get into August and September, because that tends to be hurricane season, and people get really amped up about stressing about hurricanes and stuff. And so I just, again, there's always something that can cause us to kind of go off the rails. And so just really wanted to give some suggestions and some tips about how to keep your sanity in some crazy days that are probably heading our way. And again, we know as we come down from the moon, full moon, into the new moon, energy comes down, we can feel heavier, we can feel more depleted. And when we feel more depleted, we are not as strong in remembering to not knee-jerk react to stuff, right? When we feel tired, right, we get more impatient when we're tired. So this is a really good time to make sure that you're doing that self-care. But here's one more thing to add to the mix, because as we are coming down into this new moon, which will be next week, next Sunday, what is it that you want to create or manifest or welcome in the next moon cycle? So what is it that you could be, so if we're doing all the forgiveness work right now in this last week, it frees us up to be ready to create our own and set our own intentions for the new moon that is going to come in the coming week. Okay, so doing this forgiveness work right now and this perspective shift work right now frees us up to be clear about, well, what is it that I want? And sometimes we start with what I don't want. Like sometimes if we're not quite sure what to ask for or what we're trying to manifest next, we can start with what do I not want? I know what I don't want, then that helps us know what we do want. Okay, so if you're not sure, that's okay. It's okay. We don't want to put more pressure on ourselves, but just to be able to create the opportunity to do that house cleaning this week, so that we're ready to set pure intentions that come from love, that come from authenticity, that come from the heart next week. So I like to pull an animal spirit card. I like to see what the animals have to share with us. And again, just reminding about our friend Jamie Breeze and the beautiful animal communicator who is really struggling with the Jasper, Alberta wildfires. Okay, so this is the condor. It says, you're too enmeshed in, we need glasses is what this says. This says, you're too enmeshed in the situation, so step back and see the bigger picture before making any decisions or taking action. And this is so interesting, isn't it? Because this is really exactly what we've been talking about, right? So, that's okay. That's what replays are for. No worries. So this is, the condor is telling us to step back and see things from a bigger perspective. The condor is really talking about the perspective shift. And what's so cool about the condor is they're massive birds. They're huge, but they fly so high so they can really see things from a whole different perspective than we can see down here. And so the condor reminds us that we can step back. We don't have to it says, you're too enmeshed in the current situation. Step back and see the bigger picture, which is really exactly what we've been talking about not getting all sucked in to the perspective and the opinions and only seeing things from that one perspective. We want to open it up and be able to see things from a bigger perspective, right? And see things from the other person's perspective. So this is a wonderful reminder that the condor says, hey, let's take a higher view. Let's take a higher view where we can see things from a different perspective and we can get a broader scenario, and we can see what else is going on. Okay, this is important. Okay, no. Oh, okay, hold please. Extremely jealous of Riley getting to come on the camera. This is Bo, who's like, why is Riley sitting on my desk? Because Bo sits in the desk drawer over here. Some of you know that we used to have a Maltese that would sleep in the desk drawer. And Bo's like, wait a minute, I need to be up here too. So we'll put Bo in the desk drawer. He doesn't like it as much as Toby did, but he wants to be where I'm at, so he takes it. He's like, all right, I can sleep here. It's got a pillow. It's very, very posh. So, all right. So we're going to use the Wisdom of the Oracle deck from Colette Baron Reed. It's a really good deck. I really enjoy using this deck. So we're going to just grab 3 cards in this, and then we'll do some individual card readings. And so we're going to start with, what do we need to know about what's going on right now? So what do we need to know? He's so funny. He just lays right down. He's like, Mom's not paying attention to me. I'm going to face away over here. So what do we need to know about the current situation, the current climate, whatever's going on for the collective right now, that, what do I need to know to help me move forward on this path? And so the first card we pull is Fork in the Road. And Fork in the Road really reminds us that we can make choices. And Fork in the Road reminds us, and it's such a pretty card, isn't it? It's got so many different little, doodads and things to look at. But Fork in the Road reminds us that there isn't a wrong way round, right? Fork in the road reminds us, hi, fork in the road reminds us that wherever we're going forward. Okay, so there's not a wrong road. And if you've heard me talk about the Jeremy Bearimy before, the Ted Danson, Kristen Bell TV show called The Good Place. In one of the later episodes, Ted Danson explains to the group about how time works. And he uses the example of cursive, writing in cursive. Y'all remember cursive, right? Of writing in cursive, Jeremy Bearimy. I don't have good handwriting, but I can try and read this out. And so if you're writing out, let me see, Jeremy Bearimy. Okay, so if you're writing it out, even when you loop backwards to the E and the R or the Y or whatever, even when you're looping it backwards, oh, interesting, on Instagram, it flips it backwards. So even when you're looping backwards, you're still going forwards, okay? So fork in the road reminds us that there isn't a wrong way, because even if we've looped back around, we're still going forward. Maybe there was something else that we needed to learn, something else, a lesson or a growth or an experience we needed to have in order to become the person that we need to be able to be ready for that loop forward to go up into the next thing. Okay, so fork in the road reminds us that there's not a wrong way to go, that there's not a wrong way to go, that there's just the opportunities for us to continue going forward. Okay, so rather than stressing out about, do I go this way, do I go that way, just trust your heart, make a decision, and know that there's just not a wrong decision to be made. Okay, because if we go the wrong way, we're going to come back around, or we're going to turn around and go back again. So there's not a wrong way. And I think a lot of times we get so caught up in the I don't know what to do, so we do nothing. Okay, and actually I was learning this new concept, and it's not a new concept, but it's new to me as I'm taking a neuro-linguistic programming certification right now. And so one of the things that we're talking about is what happens if you do this? What happens if you don't do this? Okay, right? We've all asked ourselves those questions, right? What if I do? What if I don't? But the interesting thing that was that really struck me was what won't happen if you do this, and what won't happen if you don't do it. And I thought that's really interesting, because so often for a lot of us, we're like, oh, well, do I not? And we say, well, what happens if we do this? And what happens if I don't do this? And that's as far as we go. And so I thought this was really, really interesting to say, well, what doesn't happen if you do it, and what doesn't happen if you don't do it? There's a whole flip side of the conversation as we're trying to make a decision. So again, there's not a right or a wrong. It's just seeing things from the different perspectives that allows us to make a decision that we feel comfortable with and to be able to move forward. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense, because I thought that was a really fascinating thing. Hi. Okay, so what else do we need to know about this situation? And so this card comes in upside down. This is the co-create card. And so it does come in upside down, but I like to turn them right side up so you can see him. And what I love about this card is because this card is all about reminding us that we're not alone. And so whatever road we take, whether we take an easier road or a less easy road, we're still not alone, right? We're co-creating with the universe, because here we have the egg of possibility down here, right? This is us, the egg, this is any possibilities of the universe, because an egg can birth any, births life, right? And so then we have the owl of wisdom is out here on the high wire out here. We have the owl of wisdom. And so we have guidance, wisdom guidance that is with us, right, with the owl. And then we have the cheetah. The cheetah is up here looking out over on the cliffside, looking out on the roof. And the cheetah is strength and courage and tenacity. And the cheetah is endurance as well, right? Because they can run so fast and run so far. And so here we have all of these opportunities. And what I love about this, I don't know if you can really see it, but the little egg of possibility down here has a like cheetah face and little cheetah speckles in it. And I love this because, again, it tells us we're not alone. There's cheetah in all of us, right? That we can have that ability, that stamina, that strength, that endurance, and that stealthiness, right? And the ability to persevere. And we have the owl of wisdom is with us, overseeing, looking out over all the things. And we have the possibilities of everything. And so as we're coming into this new moon next week, this is a great card, because what else do we need to know? Now, let me go back, because this card actually was upside down. So when it's upside down, we're reminded that we are not alone, and that we should not be stubborn in our co-creation, that we should allow the universe to come and work with us, because when we get this card upside down, this co-create is where we're trying to feel like, I got this, I can do it myself, I don't need anybody's help. And there's so much more to be gained from allowing help, because we open our heart, we let others to come in, and the people who come in to help, and the entities and the angels and guides that come in to help, they are so gratified by being part of the journey that we are then filled with love and gratitude for allowing others to be in. Whereas if we are so focused on doing everything ourselves, we get into that place of resentment and frustration and anger and all those negative emotions. But when we allow someone else or something else to help us, we let love in. It is a huge transformational shift. We let love in. That is a very big change. So let's not be stubborn. Let's remember that we're in co-creation with the universe. Regardless of which fork in the road path we take, we are always in co-creation with the universe. And by allowing the universe to put others in our path who can help us, we are co-creating from a place of love. Because when we have help and love surrounding us, we can't help feel that love in us, and that then we turn it around, we emanate it, gratitude, love goes right back out, and we create this cavitation, right, where we're just all radiating that love, as opposed to trying to do everything ourselves. We don't have to do it all alone. We're never alone anyway, so we might as well bring them in to help. The catch is, all the angels and guides and all the spirits and stuff, they can't help unless we ask them. Especially the angels get super frustrated because they're here. They're like, we're here! And they're like, we can't step in unless you ask us. We can't come and help you unless you say, can I help? They're not allowed to intervene unless we welcome them, unless we request them. So please, request them, because they're all just like, hello, pick me, pick me, pick me. So, okay. Oh, this is so very interesting, because the third card, I'm like, well, what else do we need to know about this? And here's the cheetah. Go the distance. Here's the cheetah. Look at the cheetahs running to the finish line. Full stretch. Here I come. And this is, the cheetah is like, we can do it. We can do it. When we work together, doesn't matter what road we choose, we're in it together. We go together. We finish together. We are all in it together. We absolutely can reach that finish line. See the checkered flags? We absolutely can reach the finish line. So what is it that you're going to put into the intention for this next week when we come into the new moon on Sunday, a week from yesterday? Because this is a time of co-creation. This is a time of manifestation. This is a time of getting shit done. I mean, huge. This is really a time of bringing things into reality of what is going on in our lives. What do we want to bring in? They're telling us right now, this is a time to make it happen. All right, so having said all of that, let's do some cards for you. Let's do some cards for you. I also want to throw out there about the Thursday nights. We have been doing the meditations on Thursday nights. I'd like to do something different on Thursday nights. Would you all want to do like maybe once a month mediumship event? Would you like to do more cards on Thursdays? Should we stick to meditation? What are your thoughts about Thursday nights? And they're short. Usually Thursday nights about 20, 30 minutes. But let me know. Hey, Bianca, you were there. Now you're here. If you have thoughts about what we could do on Thursday night, let me know. Let me know. I'm open. So, Janie says mediumship would be great. Okay. And it would be quick. It would be quick. I have to say, on Thursday night, it would be like maybe 2 or 3 messages. It would be really quick. Okay. And they talk about readings versus greetings, so it'd be quick. It'd be more like a greeting, like, hey, I see your grandparent is with us, and they say this, that, and the other thing. It would be just very short. It would not be like some sort of a mediumship would be amazeballs. All right. So let me think about that. Let me think about how we can make that work. As long as we understand it's not going to be like a full-on event, it would just be kind of quick. Like I said, little postcards rather than the letters. So if we're okay with that, I'm happy to try it. All right, so we're going to start with cards. And I saw Bianca jumped in there and said, card, please. So Bianca, this card is the Yang card. The Yang card is, mediumship is always interesting, it's true. The Yang card is that feminine energy. This is about going forward, okay? This is about you have the ability to create. You have all the strength, you have the fire, the passion, you have the strength. This is coming straight down your channel, right? This is having the support of the 2 cards. This is very feminine strength energy, and this is really about going forward. So this card, Bianca, lines right up with the cards that we had in the first 3, and this is really saying to you, take that intention, take that co-creation, take the fork in the road, go the distance, and just throw caution to the wind and just go for it. So the things that you've been feeling, the things that you have been thinking about, contemplating, what do I want to put in my life? What do I want to bring? What do I want to co-create? They're talking to you about this is the right time, and this is not a leap of faith because you have all the abilities inside of you. What you're lacking is the fire, the passion, the commitment to say, I'm going. This is what this card is, the I'm going card. I'm getting it done card. Okay, and so this is what they're saying is this card is for you because this is a time for you to be like, put your seatbelt on because we're going. Okay, so this is the missing piece, Okay, all right, so I hope that helps. All right, we've got Janie, Ellen, we've got Tracy. Look at all you folks. All right, and Laura Lou needs some guidance. We're going to do it. All right, so we've got Janie. All right, so we go in order. Try and go in the order. If you've already put in your request, you don't need to do it again because then it puts the comments where I can't see them because it's only this little window. Need to be able to see you. All right, so Janie, this is out to the sea. This is go to the sea, but it was upside down, okay? And so here's the thing about to the sea. I'm going to turn it right side up so you can see it. So hello. Yes, new peoples. So we just go in order. So we're going in order and just stay with me. We'll get there, I promise. So Janie, this card is to the sea. And so the thing that when it's upside down, this card when it's upside down, it's you're missing the part where the universe again is trying to co-create with you. It's a trust factor. Okay. So we're looking at to the sea. And again, this card comes in upside down. But when you're looking at it, she's not paying attention to the direction that she's going in. She's totally trusting the tide, the current, the telescope is behind her. She's not even looking at it. It's facing behind. The boat's going forward. You can see from the water the boat's going forward. The weather vane is going forward. She's like reading her book. Okay, the sea is calm. The sun is shining. And so here, can you see right in here? Here is Spirit. Can you see it right there? The face of Spirit. Spirit is saying, I got you. I'm with you. You got to trust. And so what happens is when we go to the sea upside down, it's we're not trusting. We're not trusting that the universe is with us. We're not trusting that Spirit is guiding us. We're not trusting that we have those co-creators with us. And so all these cards, it's really interesting, are lining up together. And so Janie, this is about trusting them, okay? Because here, look, they're in there. Can you see them? I hope you can see them. So that, and them, I say them, because that's Spirit. I mean, they're saying, we're here. We've got you. The water is smooth. The path is fine. We're going in the right direction. You don't have to worry about a thing. Just trust us. So Janie, whatever it is that you've been struggling with, just let it go. Just let it go. And know that they've got you, okay? Just know that they've got you. All right, we've got Ellen, and then we've got Tracy, and we've got Chris. I bet you're super stressed and overwhelmed right now. And you know what? This is a season. We're not jumping ahead, but I want to say this is a season for you, Chris. And I'm going to pull a card. We're going to pull a card when we get your name. But this is a season for you, and so I want you to remind yourself this is a season, okay? Because you're jumping into a huge transition, and it's going to get better. When you get, was it 18 days? It's going to be a very different world, okay? So just remind yourself this is a transitional time. It is not forever. Okay, we're still going to get a card, so don't worry. Okay, Ellen, also upside down. This is Loyal Heart. We've got these two beautiful owls with their crowns on, the kings and the queens, and they're beautiful, and they're together, and they're standing on, perched on top of the egg with the heart, okay? And this is this reminder to stay the course and to be true to yourself. Now this comes in upside down also. And so it's not about that when this comes in upside down, we're not being loyal to what's going on, okay? We're not being loyal to the truth of the situation. We're putting blinders on. We're not being loyal to ourselves. We're not being loyal perhaps to a person who's involved. But more than anything, we're not being loyal to the truth of the situation. I'm going to turn it right back up so you can see it. So we're not being loyal to the truth of the situation. See how rose it is? It's got that beautiful sunset tint to it. We're seeing the situation through rose-colored glasses, Ellen. We're seeing what we want to see instead of seeing the facts the way they really are. So this is going to be about perspective shift, right? We talked about that a lot at the top of the time today. So this is really about a perspective shift. So Ellen, what is it that you are refusing to see? What is it that you are not acknowledging about the situation that is going to help you see things more clearly? Okay, you're not being disloyal when you are like putting your own needs first and that self-care, but it is important that you're seeing the situation for the truth of what it is. So hopefully that makes sense. All right, Tracy. And so again, especially for those of you who are new, yay, welcome. And so if you are new and you are asking for a card, just make sure that you have your question in your heart. And when we get to you, the cards will know. The cards just know. They do. They just know. All right, so Tracy has a card. And Tracy, a lot of upside downs. Okay, so this is the serendipity card, but this is also upside down. So Tracy, the universe is trying to work with you. The universe is trying to give you the gift that things are meant to be, but we're not paying attention to them. That you are, being impatient, and so that they might just take a little bit longer. And it's when we have the serendipity card that's upside down, we're feeling like we've got to get in there and force it to happen. We've got to force that stuff to line up. And when it's upside down, they're like, no, we're putting it together. We're going to make it work out, but just got to be patient. You just got to let us continue to put the cogs, together and be able to move the wheels of the universe in the right way so that you're ready for that, when it comes. Does that make sense? Okay, so, so you're on the right track. Let me just say that, Tracy, you're on the right track, but patience, which I know everybody hates that word. We hate that, right? But so just trust that things are unfolding in the way that is for your highest good, even if it doesn't feel like it in this minute, okay? So let me leave you with that. All right, so we're going to have Chris. Okay, so Chris is super stressed and a little overwhelmed right now. She's got the big transition that's coming up in the next couple of weeks. And so this card for you is, interesting. Now, this also came in upside down. Everything's upside down today. But this is the orphan card, okay? This is the orphan card. Now, interesting, because I know how much you love the numerology. This is card number 5, okay? And so we're not alone, even when it may feel like it. And again, it comes in upside down. But this is just a reminder that we are cocooning, we are coming into self, we are wrapping ourselves up in our own blankets of protection so that we are not taking on the stuff of others, right? So that then we can, this is like the cocooning, it says orphan, but it's really a lot like cocooning, that we're coming in for the transformation to emerge the butterfly, okay? And so even though the ones who are around us, they may not be supportive and they may not be, making us feel great as we are changing. It's like the crab pot, right? When the crabs are in the crab pot, if one crab tries to climb out, the other crabs will pull them back in, okay? And so this with orphaned is this reminder that we're not alone, even though it feels like we're alone right now, that we are going in a direction that others can't go, and that other people, when we change and grow, other people feel threatened, okay? And so it's not about you doing anything right or wrong. You're doing you, and you need to keep doing you. But just as another reminder that this is also a short-term phase of your life, and that as you're going forward, you're going to come out of this space. You're going to come out of this place of feeling orphaned, and you're going to come into a new place where there's going to be new people who are going to be around you. And this place of stress right now is did I bring in butterflies? I did. I brought in butterflies. Look at that. That's hilarious. Mina, I'm going to pick you. We just go in order, okay? We go in order. I'm not missing you. I promise. We just go in order, okay? We try to do first, second to you in the order of the comments, okay? So, Chris, it's just a short term. I know it feels overwhelming right now, but it's short term, okay? All right, Heidi Cole. Heidi, we've got Yvonne, we've got Laura Lou, and we've got Mina. All right, so Heidi, we've got, again, upside down. This is time to nap. Time to nap, Heidi Cole. So this is just relax, let go, just let things unfold. That's been a little bit of a message today, right? Letting things unfold. Time for a nap. It's like we don't have to, we don't have to do it all, but also time for a nap reminds us to allow our dreams to recharge, okay? So time for a nap reminds us that it's okay to dream. It's okay to take this one off. I'm going to take the night off. I'm going to just eat some ice cream and watch a movie, just to do that self-care, Heidi. But it reminds us that it's important for us to avoid burnout and to allow ourselves to recharge. But I love the part about with the moon where you are, we're napping. We're not just napping ourselves, we're napping with the moon. This is a reminder to allow ourselves to dream. So where do you want to go? What do you want to do? What is it that you want to create next, right? And so Heidi, we can't we can't create when we are not quiet, right? When we're like, bah, 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 we're just trying to get it done, get it done, get it done. We don't allow the quiet, we don't allow the creation, we don't allow the imagination to come in. And so this is what they're talking about. It's important to get quiet and important to allow the imagination to come in so that we can come to co-creation with authenticity of who we are and what we truly want to create, rather than trying to co-create something that we think everyone wants us to create. Okay, so being true to ourselves. Okay, so refresh, replenish, recharge, relax, have a cocktail, something if that's appropriate. All right, Yvonne. All right. Bianca, you are so welcome, my friend. Oh, a right side up card. Yvonne, happy. This card is happy. Look, she's sitting on the egg of possibility. She's got all the rainbows, the lights, the lights are emanating out. So wherever you are, whatever you're doing, of course, this is one of the happy cards we love. This is a card that says you're on the right track. You're doing everything right. You are creating something. You are hatching something. You are in alignment, Yvonne. You are in alignment with what you're doing right now. So stay the course because you are fired. Look at all these little stars you're birthing. Okay, so Yvonne, you are in the right way, you are going in the right direction, and you are creating something that's in alignment, that's beautiful and filled with light and needed. Because, just look at how this light is just coming off of her down here, right? So you are creating something, you are allowing something to be birthed through you, and you are absolutely on the right track. Now, happy also reminds us to stay in the place of love and gratitude. Happy also reminds us to... that when we stay in that place of love and gratitude, it is immensely powerful. Okay, so whatever you're doing, Yvonne, you are on the right track. You are absolutely on the right track. Hi, Fatima. Hi. So, okay, so Laura Lou. We've got Laura Lou. Okay, so Laura Lou. Breathe. Again, comes in upside down. Okay, this card comes in upside down. This is breathe. This card is breathe. It comes in upside down. So Laura Lou, this is kind of like what we've been saying to some of the other folks today, is a time, like with time for a nap. It's about taking a minute, having a breath, right? Having a minute where you can just say, okay, I need a recharge. I need a Netflix. I need to refill my batteries, right? And so we need to calm down. We need to let things play out as they do. So you are so welcome, Iman. So Laura Lou, this is about letting things play out, let things develop, let things just let it, like the serendipity card. Just allow the universe to unfold things for us. Be patient. Just let things play out. We don't need to get in there and roll up our sleeves and do everything ourselves. We don't need to control everything. We just need to allow the universe. We've given the wishes to the universe. We've set our intentions to be able to say, okay, I trust that the universe is moving the cogs for us to be able to have get where we're going. Okay, so hopefully that makes sense. Okay, all right, so Mina. All right, Janie understands. Excellent. Welcome, new friend. Anything good coming my way? Okay, so for Mina, Ellen says, I got to think about this, and excellent. All right, so Mina, anything coming my way? And then we've got Fatima on the other side. Okay, so we're going to do Mina and then Fatima. So Mina, this is not for you. So this is a fortune cookie in the middle of a chessboard, which is kind of fun. So this is just a reminder that just because we want something and maybe it may not be the right time for us, that if whatever is for us, so you're asking this question, is something good, is anything good coming my way? And this is not to pick at you, Mina, because you're new, and I'm so delighted that you're here and we welcome you to our community. But so we've got several different, Mina, pick me. And so what the universe is telling you is that what is for you is not going to pass by you. So you don't have to worry so much that like I would forget you or somebody else would forget you, that trusting the universe that what is for you is going to be for you. And so we have this fortune cookie, and so you can see this is the hand underneath that's supporting it that says, hey, we're here, we're supporting you. And again, we've got the two sides of the chessboard, and this is a reminder of what we talked about earlier. There's no wrong direction here, right? So good fortune is going to go in either way. Even though we've got the fortune cookie is facing in one direction, it doesn't mean that the fortune cookie is only going to go in, to the white team. So the fortune cookie, the winds of fortune are going to come your way because what belongs to you is not going to pass by you. Okay, and so this with the comments, because I know you're new and you're not sure how we work yet, which is awesome. That's great. I love new people coming in. And so next week you'll be like, I know she's going to get me. I got this. But this is a reminder that the universe heard you, and that the universe is working with you, and that you can trust. You can trust us. You can trust the universe. The universe is like, yeah, we got you. Just hang on a second. We've got you. And so they're showing you that to have confidence in the things that you ask for the universe for, because while it may or may not look exactly like what you've asked for, the universe is going to make sure that you get yours, and the universe is going to make sure that what you have asked for, the things that are for you, are not going to pass by you. So nope, no one's too late. So Mina, this is a big one. Trust to the universe. Trust me, we talk about that a lot. Trust to the universe is hard, right? Because we're like, okay, I sent my wishes out to the universe. I hope they're gonna, listen to me. They always listen. But remember what we talked about with Jeremy Baramy, and if you missed that, you can always go back and watch the replay. But it takes a minute for the universe, for us to be able to go through the loops and twists and turns, for us to become the person that we need to be in order to receive the thing that we have asked for the universe to bring to us. So hopefully that makes sense. But we're so glad you're here, and just trust that the universe, and I know that's a big ask, I know that's so hard, but trust that the universe has got you, and the things that you have asked for, that good things are coming to you, because good things will not pass you by. All right, so no, Rachel, you are not too late. Hello. Tracy, no worries at all. Yes, you can have a card. And Mina, you are so welcome. I'm going to jump over to Fatima on Instagram, because I said I would do Mina and then Fatima, and then we're going to come back over to Tracy and Rachel, so no worries at all. So, and if you came in late, definitely check out the replay once we put that up. And also remember, we always do shut off the comments at the end, because we don't want spammers hassling you. And if you look in the comments, and if you look below, I have posted the link to the class I'm teaching for the Journey Within. So you definitely want to sign up for the class, especially if you're a light worker and you are ready to jump into business, but you're not really sure where to start and how to do it. This is where we're going to be teaching people how to start a business. So okay, so Fatima, this is the Fates. The card is the Fates. And so big message today is to just trust that the universe is with us, right? That we are in co-creation, that we are not alone. And so this is just a reminder that with the things that are meant to be, the good things, like we told Mina, the things that are meant for you are not going to pass you by. And that, the things that are meant for you are coming to you, and we don't have to push, we don't have to stress, we don't have to be like, is it coming? They're telling us that we've got you and that we're with you. So we got to just trust. And I know that is not easy. But what they're talking about big time today is that we're here in co-creation with you, and we just want you to trust us. This is a big message today that seems to be coming through in a lot of different ways. It's as if the spirits are saying, and the universe is saying, can you hear me now? Because I'm saying it in every possible way I could possibly say it for you all, to just trust us. We've got you. So hopefully that is something that we can all jump into. And we can all, take comfort in that. So I know for me, when things seem like they're crazy, I just am so grateful when I can have that confirmation that I'm not in it alone. It's a game changer to be able to reach to angels or guides or loved ones in spirit and be able to say, be with me because I need you. And when you can feel that energy shift and you can feel it come in, it's an amazing change. So, all right, Tracy. Where'd you go? All right, Tracy's phone died, but so again, upside down, this is deep knowing. Upside down, this is deep knowing. And so we have the owl with the wisdom and the moon, and we have the co-creation, right? We have the egg of co-creation. So this is really understanding that that the moon illuminates what is not for us. What is not for us. So this is reminding us, Tracy, about trusting our guts and staying in our lane, trusting them, trusting that we are on the right track. But they're talking about not getting distracted by, the whole world of possibilities. The moon is saying you follow the wisdom and you just stay in your lane. You don't have to worry about what everyone else is doing. Okay. So Tracy, you be true to you, and the universe is going to take care of everything else. So this is all about trusting your guts. Okay. Trusting them that they're with you, but this is about trusting your guts and knowing that you are never wrong. If you're in your intuition, if you're in your guts, if it feels right in your belly, then that's the direction. If it feels wrong in your belly, that's not the direction. So having more connection to self and allowing again, trust, but allowing us to trust ourselves, right? Which, again, it's sometimes really hard to trust ourselves. So this is really a reminder that you got this, but it's important to trust yourself. All right, so we're going to do the last one. We've got Rachel. Is there somebody else? Is there somebody else that came in? Rachel. It was Rachel. Okay. All right, so we've got Rachel. And again, upside down. Everything is upside down today. So this is the thinker card, Rachel. This is the thinker card. Now, the thinker card reminds us that we should be mindful, right? And it reminds us that, we are like, how can I do this? How can I create this? How can I make this happen? But when the thinker card is upside down, it's reminding us not to overthink it, right? Because the thinker is, how can I create this in my life? How can I make this happen? But when the thinker card is upside down, it's like, don't overthink it, okay? Just trust the gut. So what we were just saying to Tracy is trust your guts. Trust if it feels right in your body, then this is the direction to go. There's not a wrong way. You go in the direction that feels right to you. And that if you are thinking, because, we all want to think things through, but let's not overthink it, right? When we get the thinker card upside down is when they're saying like, okay, just make your decision, take a breath, go forward, and trust that we're going to make it work out for you. Okay, because even if we have these things where we're going and we go the wrong way, and then a lot's happening that's causing you to overthink. Well, it's a good reminder. I mean, the cards are never wrong. So, right, but we're reminded that if we're going along and we veer off from the GPS and we go another way, that it might end up to be a blessing in disguise. So years and years ago, when my family, we moved from Los Angeles to Florida, we rented an RV. And we took the kids and the 4 cats and all stuff. And we took an RV and we took about 10, 12 days to come across the country, about 10 days. I've come across the country. We stopped at all these national parks. And I really wanted to see White Sands, New Mexico. And so we came through. It was really beautiful. It was raining. It was a really kind of poop day. And, we got to see the stuff. And we ended up coming out of the national park on the wrong road. And I thought, oh God, we're on the wrong road. We're going to get lost. And this was long before GPSs, long before TomToms, and this was maps, okay? This was maps, paper maps. And we come out on the wrong road, and it's all rainy and cloudy, and I'm looking off in the distance, and I'm like, what in the heck is that out there? What is that? It was the Very Large Radio Telescope Array, the big giant satellite dishes in Alamogordo, New Mexico. I had wanted to see that place my entire life. And I had totally forgotten to put it on my wish list for the road trip of all the parks we were going to go to. And we came out of the park on the wrong road, and there it was. And because it was a rainy, pewey day, we were the only ones there. And of course, by the time we got there, the rain had cleared. Okay, so sometimes we don't overthink it. We just allow the universe to unfold. It can be for our blessing. It's always for our blessing. We just got to let it. So, all right. So, Rachel, you just keep breathing and you just let the universe, you just do you, and just try not to overthink. Make your best decision, take a breath, and go forward, right? This is the thing, because we can get ourselves stuck in the mud when we're like thinking. Don't get yourself stuck in the mud, okay? So I was sharing about this neuro-linguistic programming thing I was studying in this new certification I'm doing, and one of the things they were talking today was these amazing 4 questions. I thought it was really fabulous. What happens if you do the thing? What happens if you don't do the thing? So, what good thing, what could happen if you do the thing? What could not happen if you do the thing? Okay, so let me say it again. What could happen if you do the thing? What could not happen if you do the thing? So, okay, we've all done those questions. But here's the other 2 questions. What wouldn't happen if you did the thing? What wouldn't happen if you didn't do the thing? So I often tell a story about how my husband's car broke down on the road out of town from Williamstown Theater Festival, where we met 35 years ago. And if his car hadn't have broken down, we probably wouldn't be married today. So it seemed like a really bad thing at the time, but it wasn't. So if the car hadn't broke down, what could have happened? He could have gone off with his life and I would have gone off with mine. But what happens if the car breaks down? We ended up married for 28 years. Belinda! All right, we'll do one more card for Belinda because I'm going to put this one aside because I pulled that as the finish it up card. We'll pull one more card for Belinda because I never want to say no to somebody. All right, one card. Oh, Belinda, I'm assuming you want a card. I'm assuming that. I'm sorry, I don't mean to assume. But you often show up here, so I often assume that you, because you have requested cards. So let me know if you want a card, because I don't like to pull cards. We never want to force ourselves on anybody else. We don't want to force a card reading on somebody. So, all right, we'll wait for Belinda for a second, and we'll pull the card that I pulled for the closing card, was the observer card. And again, it was upside down. So yes, of course, Belinda wanted a card. I just want to make sure, be polite, and everyone will be like, you get a card. Because if you didn't want one, okay, but I have it right here. Okay, so this is the Imagine card. Again, upside down. Everything was upside down today. So this is the Imagine card. And this follows in with serendipity and take a nap and all the things. It's important that we recharge our batteries. It's important that we are allowing ourselves to rest so that we can allow our brains to expand. This is a period of monumental soul growth for everybody. Okay, this is a period of monumental soul growth, but if we don't slow down and we don't allow ourselves to sit in it, we can't grow. Okay, we are prohibiting and we are stifling the growth of our soul that is trying to happen. So the Imagine card reminds us that it's so important that we are manifesting the heart's desire and the things that we can create. But if we are not slowing down to allow the brain to expand, to allow the mind to expand, to allow the soul to expand, we are looking in the wrong direction. We are not getting ourselves focused in the right way. Okay, so we're looking in the way that we're going, in the way that we've been going, in the way that we've always been going, and the Imagine card says, hold it, take a breath, look over there. Okay, and so Belinda, this card reminds you to take a different look, take a breath, take a rest, see it from a different perspective, look over there. Okay, and so again, we finish with the Observer card, which is also upside down. And the Observer card reminds us that we are, again, to take that step back and take a look and see where we are now, see how far we've come, see how far you've come. We've all come so incredibly far, and that we are on the right track. But the upside down Observer card also, and the upside down Observer card reminds us to see from that different perspective. So we end where we started. So the upside down Observer card reminds us to see from that different perspective, right? So that we're not stuck seeing just this far, right? We're allowing ourselves to see from a bigger perspective, which is really where we started today. So this reminds us that it's so important. We've come full circle. This reminds us that it's so important to be able to see from another perspective, to take a step back, say, okay, what am I missing here? How can I see from another perspective? How would it feel if the shoe was on the other foot? How would I feel if I was the person this was happening to, or I was the person who was doing it? Like allowing ourselves to expand our perspectives, okay? And remembering that there's no one way that is the one only way for anything. There's always multiple perspectives, and that the more that we can see things from a larger perspective, the more we can bring peace to ourselves, the more we can bring peace to our world, the more that we can allow the soul to expand. So, all right, so just as a reminder, we will, of course, be turning off the comments at the end so we're not plagued by spammers. And that if you are a light worker and you are interested in participating in my class that I'm teaching for the Journey Within, Spiritualist Union's National Church in New Jersey, it's going to be a Zoom class. It's on August 13th. I put the link in the comments. It's also pinned to the top of the page of the Facebook page. The class is 2 hours. It's $20, and it is all about helping you as a light worker get in business. So if you are somebody who's taking your classes and you're ready to go and you're just not sure how to start your business, this is the class for you. So I hope you'll choose to join me. We are I'm going to say right now we're an 80% go for next Monday. I leave to go out of town very early on Tuesday morning. So as long as I've got my stuff together and I'm not running around like a crazy person, we should be good to go for next Monday. And we will look at doing some mediumship on Thursday, like 1 or 2 Thursday nights of the month. When I get back from this trip, we can take a look at that. And in the meanwhile, always remember, the universe is on our side. We are not in it alone. Always remember how very much you are loved. And I hope you have a fantastic week. Mwah. See you next week.